This is part 27 of Angular CRUD tutorial. In this video, we'll discuss how to compare password and confirm password fields and validate if they are equal. If they are not equal, we want to display this validation error message: password and confirm password does not match. This is commonly called cross-field validation in Angular. We cannot use the built-in Angular validators to perform cross-field validation, so let's create a custom validator. To use a custom validator in template-driven forms, we create the validator as a directive. We discussed creating custom validator and a directive in parts 25 and 26 of this video series. This video gives us a little more experience creating custom validators and directives. We'll make this custom validator a reusable validator, so we could use it to compare any two input fields for equality. For example, we can use the same custom validator to compare if email and confirm email fields are equal. Here is our create employee form. At the moment, we don't have password and confirm password fields, so let's include them on our form. Let's place our password and confirm password fields just after this employee photo path image field. Here is our password field. Notice we are using an input element. We have given it the name password. We are also using the ng model directive, and we are also using the Angular built-in required validator, and we are using Angular touched, invalid, and required properties along with bootstrap classes for styling and displaying required validation error message. And here is our confirm password field, and again this HTML is very similar to what we have on the password field, except that here we named our field confirm password. Now this is all standard stuff that we have discussed so far in this video series. Nothing related to cross-field validation is going on here. So let's save our changes and then take a quick look at the browser. Notice now we have password and confirm password fields. If I touch the password field and leave it, we get the required validation error, and same is the case with confirm password. At the moment, we don't have cross-field validation in place, so if we type non-matching passwords, notice we don't get any validation error. So let's see how to implement this. We are going to create a custom validator. Let's place the custom validator in its own file, and I'm going to place that file in the shared folder. So let's right click on the shared folder, add a new file, and I'm going to name this file confirm equal validator. And we know we are going to create this validator as a directive, so it also has a .directive suffix, and this is a TypeScript file, so it also has .ts extension. In Angular, a custom validator is nothing but a class, so let's create a class, and I'm going to name this class confirm equal validator directive. A custom validator implements validator interface, so let's make this class implement the Angular validator interface. We don't have the validator interface type, so let's include the required import statement to import validator from Angular forms. In Angular, when we create a component, we decorate the class with @componentDecorator. Similarly, when we create a module, we decorate the class with @ngModuleDecorator. Here, we are creating a directive, so let's decorate this class with @DirectiveDecorator. We don't have this directive type imported yet, so let's include the required import statement to import directive from Angular core. Now we're going to use this directive as an attribute on the element that we want to validate. In our case, we're going to use this directive to validate if password and confirm password fields are equal. So we are going to use this directive as an attribute on one of these two fields. So we need a selector for that. So let's specify that selector right here. Notice we named our selector app confirm equal validator. Now we can use this selector as an attribute either on the password field or confirm password field. Let's actually include it on the confirm password field right here. Next, we need to register our custom validator with the list of validators that Angular maintains. For that, we are going to use providers property. And this is the syntax we use to add our custom validator class to the list of validators Angular maintains, and that list is in this ng validators. It contains all the validators, including the built-in validators. For us to be able to use our custom validator, we have to add our validator to that list Angular maintains, and this is the syntax that can help us do that. And it's essential we set this multi-property to true to tell Angular that we want to add our custom validator class to the list of validators Angular maintains. Notice we have a red squiggly under ng validators. That's because we don't have it imported yet. So let's import it from Angular forms. Now notice our custom validator class is implementing the Angular validator interface. So let's provide the implementation for the method provided by this validator interface, and that method is validate. This method is going to receive the control that we want to validate as a parameter. Now if you look at this custom directive, we are actually using it as an attribute on the element that we want to validate. In our case, we are using it on this confirm password field. So this field will be passed into this method as a parameter. So let's name the parameter control, and the type of this is going to be abstract control. So we don't have this imported yet. Let's import it from Angular forms. Next, let's specify the return type for validate method. This method returns either an object or null. If the validation succeeds, this method returns null. If the validation fails, it returns this object. And this object is a key value pair. And the key is of type string, and the value can be anything. So let's specify the value type as any. Now I'm going to create an input property for this directive. The reason we are creating this input property will be clear in just a bit. Now I'm going to name this input property same as the selector, because this is a directive input property. For some reason, if you don't like the name of this property, you can use an alias instead. We discussed creating an alias in our previous videos in this series, but I'm going to name this property app confirm equal validator, and this is an input property, and the type for this is string. We don't have this input type imported yet, so let's import it from Angular core. Now we are going to use this input field to pass in the name of the field that we want to compare confirm password field with. Now notice we are using this directive as an attribute on the confirm password field right here. Now we want to compare the value in confirm password field with the value in password field. So we are going to use this input property to pass the name of the password field. So instead of having the name of the control hard-coded within our validator, we are going to pass the name of the control that we want to compare this confirm password field with to this input parameter. So let's specify the name of the password field as the value for this input parameter. Now we can use this input property within our validate method to get a reference to this password field. So within our validate method, let's create a constant, and I'm going to call it control to compare, and that equals to the control that is coming into our validate method as a parameter. And this control is nothing but the confirm password field, because that's the field on which we have our directive used as an attribute. So the confirm password field is coming into this method as an input parameter. On that, I'm going to call parent. So what is the parent of this confirm password field? The parent for the confirm password field is the root form element. Okay, so we are going to the root element, and from there we are going to get our password field. Now you might be wondering, why do we have to go from the password field to the root and then try to find the password field? Isn't there an easy way to find the password field? I don't think so, because these are sibling nodes, so we have to go up one level and then find the password field. That's the reason we are using the parent property, and on that we are going to use the get method, and we know we have set this input property to the name of the password field, so we can use that property to get the name of the password field. So now within this constant, we have our password field. So all that is left now is to check whether if the values in password and confirm password fields are equal. If they are, then we return a null indicating validation succeeded. Otherwise, we return an object with a key value pair indicating validation has failed. So this if statement right here checks if this control to compare is truthy and the value in that is not equal to the value in control. So this control is the confirm password field and this control to compare is the password field. If they are not equal, then we want to signal validation has failed, so we are returning this object. And remember, the return type of this method can either be an object or a null. An object if the validation has failed with a key value pair, so the key here is a string not equal, and the value can be anything. I am returning a boolean true. Now if they are equal, then what we want to do is simply return null. Now we can use this key not equal within the view template to determine when to show the validation error. So let's flip over to the view template, and on the confirm password field, let's make a copy of this span element. The validation error message here is password and confirm password does not match, and instead of using the required key, we're going to use this key not equal. So the final step is to import our validator in the module where we want to use. At the moment, within our project, we only have one module, and that is our root module. So in app.module.ts file, let's include the required import statement to import our custom validator. And since this is a directive, we also need to include in the declarations array right here. Let's save all our changes and then take a look at the browser. Notice now when we type non-matching passwords, we get the validation error right away. Password and confirm password does not match. As soon as they match, the error goes away. But we have a small issue here. Notice when I delete confirm password, we see both the errors, required and our custom validation error. Now when we don't have anything typed within the confirm password field, we only want to show this required error. To fix it on this span element, let's include an additional check. So basically we want to show our custom validation error only when the confirm password field is touched and when we have this key not equal on the errors collection and when we don't have this required key. Now when we have this required key on the errors collection, then we know required validation has failed, and at that point we want to show the required error and not this custom validation error. Notice now when we have non-matching passwords, we see the validation error right away. When I delete this, we see the required validation error. When the passwords don't match, we see our custom validation error, and when they match, we don't see any validation error. At the moment, with our custom validator, we have two issues. Here is the first one. Notice when the passwords are non-matching, only the confirm password field is styled like this. Now I would actually like the password field also to have the same red border. So what's the second issue? Here it is. At the moment, we have non-matching passwords, so we see our custom validation error. As soon as the passwords match, the validation error disappears. So it seems as if everything is working fine. Now look what happens. If we go back and change the password field, so we have non-matching passwords, notice we don't get our custom validation error. So this is our second issue. In our next video, we'll discuss how to fix these two issues. On this slide, we have our custom validator code, and on this slide, we have the HTML. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.